Chief ski instructor and international speed skier Iona McClure has many championships to her name. Whilst competing in France during 1987 as a member of the Smirnoff speed team, she fell at over 110 miles per hour. Due to the injuries she received, it may be 2 years before she'll be able to take up the challenge once more to be the fastest woman in the world on skis.
Hi, by the end of this video you won't necessarily be skiing as well as John, but in the next 60 minutes I'm going to show you a step-by-step progression on how to learn to ski the fun and enjoyable way.
John Arnold is an internationally qualified ski instructor and will be demonstrating all ski manoeuvres through this video, enabling you to learn and understand the ski progression. We also have 3 pupils, all of different skiing abilities. They'll be learning to ski at their own levels.
Before we make our way up onto the slopes, I'm briefly going to run through the equipment needed for skiing. Now you don't have to buy your own equipment, you can go into a hire shop in the UK or abroad. Now you'll need boots, skis and poles. Now with the boots there are 2 different types of boots. We have a clip-up boot, like this one, or a rear entry boot. Now it's important, because there are so many different types of boots with different adjustments, that the ski technician shows you how they work and the correct boot for you. It's important to remember that when you are trying a ski boot on, that your foot is held firmly in the ski boot and that your heel does not rise off the back of the boot and that it feels comfortable. Now the next thing is the ski. Now the ski is made of fiberglass, plastic and has metal edges. Again, ask the advice from the ski technician what type of ski you should have and what length of ski. Now this will depend on your ski ability, your weight and your height. The other important part of the ski are the bindings. Now these are a safety mechanism that hold the boot to the ski. Now the boot fits in between the bindings and clamps down at the back. Now if you do happen to fall, the bindings will release and you'll come out and it will prevent you from having any injuries. An important point to remember, do not play around with the screws at the top or the back of the bindings. These have been adjusted by a technician, so they're best left alone. Now we've got our boots, bindings and skis. The next thing we have to do is get out on the slopes.
While we make our way up the slopes, I'll explain the purpose and contents of this video. The purpose is to help you learn to ski and show you how much fun it can be. The step-by-step progression is designed to help you learn fast and safe. But please remember, there are many different methods on learning how to ski, and this is only one of them. At the introduction to each section, I'll introduce you to the pupil who'll also be learning and explain what we intend to achieve in that section. With the use of clearly demonstrated exercises, you should have no problems in following the progression. At the end of each section, Iona will have a chat with the pupil and explain the important points to remember. There are 4 fundamental skills to learn in skiing: balance, leg and foot rotation, pressure and edging. I'll be highlighting these fundamentals during the next 60 minutes. This will give you a sound knowledge of how to become a skillful skier. Whilst everyone's getting ready to go up the mountain, we see one of our pupils putting on a pair of rear entry ski boots. All ski boots are cumbersome and they all take a bit of getting used to, even for normal walking. Here are a few points to remember before you go skiing. Check that your equipment is in good condition and that it's suitable for you. Hire or buy proper ski clothing. Remember, it could be very cold. Hire or buy a good pair of ski boots and check that they're comfortable. Goggles and sunglasses are advised. The weather can change quickly. Buy some protective oil or cream to protect you from ultraviolet rays. Don't forget these when you leave your hotel in the morning. And lastly, never forget insurance. You never know, accidents can happen to even the best skiers. Your piste map can be purchased at the lift station, together with your lift pass, which allows you to travel on the lifts. These lifts are called gondolas, your skis being carried on the outside of the cabin. They also keep you nice and warm on your way up the mountain. In part 1, we start with a beginner, concentrating on the basic skills required, good balance and posture, and how to control your descent with leg and foot rotation.
Hi Jane.
Hi. Okay? Yeah, fine.
Right, Jane is our complete beginner. She's never put skis on before. Jane is going to actually go through the exercises today, and hopefully by the end of the day she'll be skiing around in control. You looking forward to it?
Oh yeah.
We'll make sure that Jane has a good time, fun and enjoyment, because that's what skiing is all about. Enjoying yourself in a safe environment.
When walking in ski boots, just remember to put your heel down first and then your toes. You can carry your skis and sticks in either hand. Your first day on skis will always start on a flat area. This gives you a chance to get to know your equipment and how it works. To start, you put your sticks in the ground and pull your skis apart by pulling one up and one down. Place skis flat on the snow, parallel and apart from each other. Before going any further, check that your boots are clipped up. To help balance yourself, hold onto your sticks in both hands and stand over your skis. Before putting boots in, scrape off any snow from underneath your boot, either by using the binding as John does, or with your stick. Square your boot up, putting toe in first and then pressing down at the heel. To release yourself from the bindings, either press the heel unit with your stick or use your hand. There are different types of bindings, but stepping in and out of them is the same. Toe in first and then press down at the heel. Again, remember to check that there's no snow on your boot. If you have any problems, ask a friend to help you. Once you're safely in, then we can begin some static exercises to help you with your equipment. Firstly, using your sticks to balance yourself, slide alternate skis back and forth by pushing your knee forwards and backwards. Feel the skis sticking on the snow. A good balance exercise for you is to lift the ski off the snow by pulling your knee up towards you and then rotating your foot to turn the ski. A similar exercise is to lift the ski off the snow, rotate your foot and dip the tip down across the other ski. This gives you a good idea of the length of the ski and its weight. Try this. Crouch down to touch your boots and then reach up as high as you can. Repeat it a few times to help you with your balance.
Simply down to touch the toes and then up and then down. Right, just to get the feeling of moving up and down on the skis. Okay, keep trying.
Before you can go anywhere, you must learn to turn around. We call this manoeuvre a clock turn. By lifting the ski off the snow and stepping over an object such as a pole, this will enable you to become aware of the length and weight of the ski. It's important to remember that when turning, be careful not to cross the front or back of the skis. As you can see, Jane is doing well, but if she took smaller steps, she'd find turning a lot easier. We stay on the flat slope and start walking and turning. We use coloured poles to help Jane have an object to aim for and a turning point. When walking with skis on, slide 1 foot forward by pushing your knee forward and then the other. To turn, take small steps without crossing the tips and tails. Later, you can use your sticks to walk and turn and to retain your balance. Walking and turning will help you get accustomed to having long feet and to the new sensation of sliding on the snow. You'll find, little by little, your skis will become lighter and less cumbersome. You now know how to walk around and turn on the flat. We're now ready to try the slopes. First, choose an appropriate slope for a first descent. The slope should be a gentle gradient with a run out into a flat area. One method of hiking up the hill is sidestepping. Stand the skis across the slope and parallel. Step up sideways one after the other. To avoid sliding sideways, roll your knees into the hill. This tilts the ski over onto its uphill edge. Jane's steps are slightly too big. Smaller steps would help her keep her balance. Notice how they use their sticks while sidestepping. It's important not to go too high for your first run down. To turn around on the slope in control, plant your sticks down the slope in front of you. Keeping your arms straight with the palms of your hands on top of the sticks, step the tails of your skis around until you face down the slope. Check that the skis are apart and parallel. Then let go and let your skis slide. Let's take a closer look at the correct skiing stance. Flex at your ankles and knees so you feel the front of the boot pressing on your shins, and bend slightly at the waist to give a curved back. Have your arms out in front of you and away from your body and look straight ahead. Let's watch Jane on her first run. Start slowly so you give yourself time to think about what you're going to do. Here are some points to remember. Keep your arms straight so that your poles can support you. Step the tails of your skis into the parallel position and relax into the skiing stance. Stand with equal weight on both skis and slide. This exercise is to help you with your knee and ankle flex. Watch John's lower leg flex and extend. When you do this exercise, make sure the movement's in the lower leg and not in the upper body as Jane's doing. This exercise is great for improving balance. Crouch down to touch your toes and then reach up above your head. The skis must be hip-width apart for stability. To get more out of the exercise, we have poles to go under. When straight running, concentrate on having equal weight on both skis and feel the new sensation of sliding. To make things more difficult, practice stepping across the slope. With small steps, keeping skis parallel, transfer your weight from one ski to the other. You'll slowly discover how important your arms and poles are in maintaining your balance. This exercise will put your balance to the test. Hop, lifting both skis off the snow. Remember to stay relaxed, keep your ankles and knees flexed, and have your arms out to the side. Let's take a look at Jane trying this exercise. Whoops. If you lose your balance and start to fall, don't resist. On the contrary, relax your legs and sit down on the side you're falling. Falling is all part of skiing, and it's bound to happen once in a while. Since Jane's fallen, we'll show you 3 methods of how to get up. Get your body on the uphill side and your skis below you. Untangle your legs if they're crossed and place your skis across the slope. Bend your knees up towards you, which will bring your skis close to you. The first method is to put your sticks behind you and push up off your sticks and forward onto your skis.
Push up and forward. Okay. Or one can push
The second method is to place your sticks in the snow behind you again, but down the hill a little more. Your upper body should be facing down the hill. Again, use your poles to push up and forward. I think the easiest way is to take your straps off your wrist. Get your body and legs in the same position. Push off the snow with your hands so that you're sitting back on your skis and use your knees to push you up.
rocking up and then standing up to there.
Or if you're lucky enough, get someone to help you.
Fails, you can get a hunky ski instructor like me to push
But
you
Jane is going to try and get up by herself.
up. I can put that one in behind you. Very good. Push up.
Oh, that's difficult.
Is that harder, is it?
Yeah.
We now concentrate on how to control your speed. This is done by moving your skis into a snow plough. From a straight run, standing directly on both skis, rotate both feet so your toes turn in and your heels turn out. Look closely at John's skis. They're in the shape of a V. This is called a snow plough. It's important to remember if your posture is not correct, you may have problems with this manoeuvre. Next, flex and extend the lower leg in the straight run and rotate both feet into a snow plough. Some points to remember. You must have the correct posture. Stand with equal weight on both skis, rotate both feet at the same time, and notice how your speed decreases. In this exercise, notice how both feet work together and the skier's weight is central over both skis. Notice the relaxed, flexed position. Skiers sometimes forget that their ski is part of the foot, so try standing still, pick up the ski and rotate the lower leg and the foot. This is the same feeling as you have when moving into a snowplough position. You can practice this exercise at home. To enable you to control your speed, keep your skis in a snowplough position. Rotate your feet and lower leg outwards, keeping equal pressure on both skis. Some important points. Push both skis out at an equal angle, with your body positioned centrally and squarely over the skis, with your knees and ankles slightly flexed. A wide snowplough will cause the ski to ride on its inside edges, which means you have greater control over your speed. So to stop, move the skis into a wider snowplough. This will tilt the edges over more into the snow. To end part 1, we go to an exercise to emphasise the importance of a good balanced posture. We use a hula hoop to correct upper body and arm position and show you that nature has provided you with 2 very effective balancing poles when used correctly. One of Jane's problems is that she sits back slightly on her ankles. If you ever feel this happening, try and tilt your hips forward and upwards.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get back up there then.
It's good fun. We'll start with snowplough turns tomorrow.
Something
good.
new.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can learn in a couple of days, though. People
It
always
is.
think it takes so long to start skiing. You do quite a lot of walking up, skiing down. You can control your speed. Once you start changing direction, then you find you can start using a lift,
Yeah.
and you can travel almost all over the mountain.
It's going to be better once I can do that.
Yeah, it won't take very long. Now, the first part of skiing, up to a snowplow turn and using the lift, you can do in a couple of days if you've got a good instructor. Your stance is very good. So once your stance is established on a pair of skis, then when the instructor teaches you something, you'll do it straight away. If you've got a bad stance, it's very difficult to teach someone to do the correct manoeuvre. You seem to have no problems at all, which is good. I look forward to tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a nice day tomorrow, I think.
Should be.
Remember, balance is the most important ability to a skier. So before going on to the next section, spend time on improving your skiing posture.
Another key factor in skiing is fitness. Now, as you can see behind me here, the pupils have been put through various exercises to help them in their skiing. These exercises will help with stamina and strength and will enable the pupil to enjoy their skiing.
Other activities which will help are swimming, cycling, jogging and aerobics classes. For the less active person, general exercise should be undertaken at least 6 to 8 weeks before a skiing holiday. this should be preceded by a doctor's check. We start with an exercise which will help you with the basic technique of turning. With skis in a narrow snowplough, rotate one foot more than the other. Do this with alternate feet. Don't at this stage try and turn. Just concentrate on your lower legs and feet rotating underneath you. This exercise will give you a good feeling for the rotating of your foot and leg. Watch John do this exercise again, but this time with exaggerated foot and leg rotation. Notice how his upper body stays relaxed and still, and the feet and legs do all the work. Now we'll try a snowplough turn to the left. Start in a secure snowplough position. Rotate your right leg and foot, and at the same time, transfer pressure onto this ski. To help the ski turn, flex your ankles and knees, adding pressure to the right ski. It's important to flex at the knee and ankle. Jane's foot and leg rotation is very good, but there's a definite lack of flexing in her lower leg. This time with a turn to the right. Notice how the inside edge of the turning ski cuts into the snow. This gives John even greater control over his turn. An easy mistake to make when turning is to rotate your upper body in the same direction as the turn, as Jane's doing. This adds more slide to the ski, which actually makes the skis harder to control. We'll now link the snowplough turns by adding a leg extension after the turn. This unweights the ski ready for the next turn. A positive flexing of the knee and ankle should be felt during the turns. So, when turning, flex the turning leg at the ankle and knee. This adds pressure to the ski and helps steer it through the turn. Extend your lower legs at the end of the turn to let the skis unweight and travel down the slope ready for the next turn. So, the two basic fundamentals of a snowplough turn are plenty of foot and leg rotation and transferring pressure onto the turning ski with the aid of flexing and extending. Remember, a correct skiing posture will enable you to learn all these skills a lot faster. Once you've had plenty of practice testing your snowplough turns with controlled speed and you feel confident, then you're ready to use one of them on the many ski lifts. One of the easiest lifts to use is the chair lift. First, hold your sticks in the outside hand. Point the skis parallel and up the hill. Then just sit down into the chair as it comes up behind you. All chairlifts have bars to pull down as a safety precaution. Use them. Then sit back and enjoy the view. To get off at the top, simply raise the bar above your head, keep the skis parallel and apart, and when they touch the snow, push up off the chair with your free hand and gently slide away from the lift. Your piste map will show you the routes down, and the pistes are normally marked with this identification. Blue for beginners, red for intermediates, and the black runs for advanced skiers. After just a week on skis, Jane had improved so much she was able to travel all over the mountain. But remember, at this stage, to help yourself improve, stay on the gentle slopes.
How do you feel your skiing's coming along?
Oh, it's great now.
Yeah.
Really got confidence now.
That's great.
Not frightened. Even even when you fall over, it doesn't hurt.
Makes a big difference. We haven't been skiing very long now, have you?
No. It's amazing how quickly it all comes together.
Yeah. I think it's just being patient and taking it without going too quickly.
Yeah. Well, I'm an instructor.
Yeah. I think it's important that now you've actually done you can do snowplow turns. All you need to do is carry on gentle slopes, practicing the snowplows, making sure that you know how you turn your ski across the slope by using your foot rotation. If that's your foot, if you rotate your foot, you're going to rotate the whole ski. It's important that you always keep that in mind when pressing down. And when you've got those two, the foot rotation and the pressure on the turning ski, than you were on your way to actually skiing steeper slopes.
I can feel that now. That's improved now. Just after a couple of days, you can really see the improvement.
That's good.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, that's the beginner's stage over and done with. Or if you've been on a ski holiday before, then this is the time to join us. Pete is here to help demonstrate to us. How long have you been skiing, Pete?
I've been 1 week 4 years ago, so I'm a little rusty at the moment.
Okay, that's probably just the right stage for what we want. We're going to start from the snowplow turns up and go to basic swings, which means you'll be travelling a lot faster, be using lifts with the main emphasis of enjoyment and fun. Okay, Pete, we'll go and put you through your paces. Off you go.
Okay, right.
We'll start with a number of exercises to re-emphasise foot and leg rotation and pressure transfer. Start in the fall line, which is the shortest distance down the slope, and try to narrow the snowplow by using a more pronounced flex and extension in your ankles and knees. Remember, flexing helps to pressurise and steer the ski throughout the turn, while extending unweights the ski ready for the next turn. Pete's posture needs to be more upright, and a better rhythm would help him narrow the plough. Practice snowplow turns in the fall line and overemphasise the foot and leg rotation when turning, keeping your upper body still. Another exercise you could try to help with narrowing the plough and transferring pressure from one ski to another is the bicycle turn. Watch John's knees and notice the pulling up off one leg and the pushing down of the other, the same action as when riding a bicycle. We'll now try a plough swing to the right. In a narrow plough, notice how when John flexes to turn, the inner ski becomes parallel to the other. Notice the lack of movement in Pete's lower legs. A positive flexing is needed to help pressurise and rotate both skis. Now plough swing to the left. Keep the skis in a narrow plough with leg extended, flex at the knees and ankles and rotate both skis. Pete would find with a narrower plough the skis would be able to turn with less effort. Now link the plough swings across the slope. To change direction, use either a kick turn, as John does, or a snowplow turn. To initiate a turn, open into a plough by extending the lower legs and then turn down the fall line into a plough swing. Notice the leg extension to start the turn and flexing to finish. Note the difference between John's lower leg movements and Pete's. Pete uses brute strength to start and finish his turns. A positive flexing and extending in the lower leg is essential for a flowing movement between the turns. Now the basic swing turn. All you have to learn is the traverse across the slope. To do this, keep the skis parallel and apart, with your knees and hips rolled into the hill, thus edging the skis to stop any sideways movement. The upper body remains still and facing slightly downhill, ready for the turn. The basic swing consists of 3 manoeuvres. Firstly, traversing across the slope. Secondly, opening the skis into a plough and turning into the fall line. And thirdly, ending up with a plough swing back across the slope. Let's see how Pete manages his first basic swing by combining all 3 manoeuvres. Pete needs to stand more upright by pushing his hips forwards, thus moving his weight more evenly over his skis and giving him more balance. A last look now at the basic swing to re-emphasise the fundamental skills. The first skill, foot and leg rotation. Rotate the uphill ski into the fall line to start the turn, and then rotate both the inner and outer legs so that both skis become parallel to finish the turn. Secondly, pressure transfer. Pressure is transferred onto the turning ski at the start of the turn and maintained all the way through, enabling the ski to bend and steer through the turn. Thirdly, edging, which I've not talked about a lot, but while learning the last two skills, you'd have become more aware of the edges working to keep control over your turns. And fourthly, the most important skill is dynamic balance, which is of course related to a good basic posture. A hula hoop can be used to help correct arm position. As you can see, arms are well forward and away from the body. The upper body remains calm and still. The waist is slightly flexed, giving a curved tail. The head up, looking where you're going. Hips should be well forward, with flexing at the knees and ankles. This gives you a good stable position on your skis. Pete's skiing improved so much over the week that it wasn't long before he was skiing parallel. It just shows skiing is a sport that you can progress at very quickly.
Well, it's been a wonderful week. I felt I've learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to coming skiing again next year. I feel that things I'm going to be looking at improving on my posture, because I found that I progressed quite a lot this week, but I've often carried out a lot of the manoeuvres with brute strength rather than technique, so that's what I want to polish up next year.
Yeah, it's good. It's important to remember that when you are skiing, if you've got a good posture on your skis, then you'll learn progression very quickly. At the beginning of the week, you were having problems with sidestepping and stuff, which if you haven't got a very good posture, then it's very difficult to learn that manoeuvre.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's really, if you think about walking around on just your normal shoes, it's exactly the same when you're skiing. There's no difference. You stand up and you flex at your ankles, your knees, you look where you're going, you have your arms out for balance.
Yeah. I quite often think you've got lots of other things to think about there, and sometimes, because the boots are so rigid, your posture, it seems to change a lot.
Well, because you're sliding down the slope, it's natural to sit back. But if you were walking around, if you were to run down the slope with shoes on, you would actually put your arms out for balance and you'd run down the slope the same way as you actually stand on your skis.
Yeah.
It's the sliding that people aren't used to. Once you can get forward over your skis and flex your ankles and your knees, you find it a lot easier. And you have improved quite a lot. So it shows if you can get a good stance, which is the most important part in skiing, then you're well on your way.
Because I noticed John quite often when he was going fast was leaning forward quite a long way and had his hands forward a lot, and that is something that I found very unnatural to start with, because I always wanted to lean back, but beginning to get the hang of that now, and hopefully when I come again I'll sort of master that.
Yeah, so you've enjoyed it?
Oh, yeah, it's been great.
The main aim of the basic learning progression is to have you perform turns where the skis remain parallel, giving you the use of both legs and feet. This, with the skills already acquired, turns you into an accomplished skier. So our main aim in section 3 is to teach you how to progress into turning both skis at the same time, using the fundamental skills of balance, leg and foot rotation, pressure transfer and edging.
Well, now we've come to the last section, and we have Jane who's going to help us. Jane, how long have you been skiing and why did you get into skiing?
I've been skiing for 3 years now. Basically, the fun aspect of it, I love being in the outdoors and the sun and the scenery. It's everything about skiing, actually, that I liked. That's the reason why I took it up.
Good. And the après skiing, of course.
Oh, the après skiing, well, yeah, that's something else.
Yeah, well, we'll see more of that later on, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay, with Jane's stage now, what we're going to do is travelling even faster, using more lifts again, and actually making sure that Jane has got good dynamic balance and can come down almost any slope. But again, with the main emphasis on fun and enjoyment.
An important exercise to help simultaneous leg and foot rotation is a swing to the hill. With a good basic stance, skis parallel and apart, transfer pressure onto the turning ski, rotating both legs and feet across the slope. A closer look will show you the amount of foot and lower leg rotation needed. To help this rotation, exaggerate your lower leg movement. To steer the skis through the turn, push both knees forward and slightly uphill. This also edges the skis, which will give you more control. Note how the feet and legs turn underneath the body while the upper body remains still. Having learned the end part of the parallel turn, the next exercise will teach you the start of the turn. Before we do this, let's take a quick look at the kick turn. With skis across the slope, the lower ski is kicked up and turned to point in the opposite direction. The uphill ski is then brought around to face the same way. Now, check you have a relaxed stance with skis hip width apart. To turn skis into the fall line, hop up both skis with an extension of the lower leg and then flex down into a parallel swing. This exercise is made very difficult if you use the whole body to hop. Jane needs to use exaggerated leg extension to hop her skis. As you can see, coordination is also put to the test. A last look at this exercise now to re-emphasise the leg extension into a hop with the rotation of both feet and legs into the fall line, thus enabling the skis to stay parallel. After a while, try and reduce hopping to a minimum so you start the turn without a leg extension. A quick way to stop and also improve your lower leg and foot rotation is a hockey stop. Keep the upper body facing down the slope and turn the feet and legs underneath you. It's important to know how to stop suddenly, and this should be practiced. It's now that you should learn a bit more about how the ski actually works. People sometimes forget that the ski is a turning machine and that when it's put on its edge and pressurised, the ski will turn. To edge the ski, roll your knees into the hill so the skis tilt and create a gap under the ski. When putting pressure on an edged ski, it causes the ski to bend and cut into the snow, as John demonstrates. Why not put it to the test? Try this exercise. In a narrow plough, roll alternate knees in, setting the skis on their edges, and then pressurise the skis at the same time. When you do this, you'll be pleasantly surprised at how easy it is to change direction. Before we go on to our parallel turns, we need one more exercise to improve pressure transfer from one ski to another. Traverse across the slope, taking small parallel steps up the hill and then down the hill. When stepping, transfer pressure onto the whole length of the ski, keeping the ski edged so you have a platform to step off. This gives you a feel for transferring pressure from one ski to the other and will help you with the parallel turns. Now use the parallel turns by concentrating on turning both skis simultaneously. Stance should be relaxed and flexed, with skis hip width apart for stability through the turn. From the traverse, extend your lower legs to unweight the skis, then rotate both feet down the fall line. Turn across the slope by flexing and rotating your lower legs and feet. Notice how Jane uses a slight plough to start the turn. Emphasis should be made on narrowing the plough with the use of more pronounced leg extension to initiate the turn. This time, miss out the traverse, making the turns a shorter radius. A good rhythm will help link the turns together, with, of course, a positive extension into the fall line and flexing to finish. Edge the skis by rolling your knees forward and into the hill to steer the skis through the turn.
Okay, how it looks.
The pole plant is used as a timing aid in the parallel turn and later on in more advanced skiing for stability. A good basic stance on skis is essential for pole planting. Stand and practice the wrist action needed. Arms should remain relaxed and only a wrist action with a minimum arm raise is needed to plant the pole. Now combine the wrist movement with the leg movement used in a parallel turn. Flexing and extending, flexing and extending. Flexing your leg as the pole is swung forward, the stick will touch and plant in the snow automatically. It's worth standing still and practicing this exercise.
Just a small point, but if you need that.
Now try this exercise in a traverse, practicing planting the downhill pole and coordinating the flexing movement at the same time. An exercise to help timing the pole plant to coordinate with a leg flex is the hop garland. Whilst traversing, flex your legs, plant the pole and hop, putting your ski tails uphill. The pole must be planted before the hop. The pole plant is used to trigger off the parallel turn, and this exercise should give you a good feeling for the correct timing. Now let's watch Jane and see how she manages. Before setting off at the top, take a few minutes to think about what you're going to do and then try it. Otherwise you'll find yourself trying to remember everything. Just concentrate on the exercise and what you're trying to learn.
Okay, great. How did that feel?
Oh, I just can't seem to get it together with the planting the pole and jumping at the same time.
Yes, it is difficult. What you're lacking, okay, is more extension, more hop, and you're tending to plant your pole and hop at the same time.
Yeah.
You'll find it easier to plant your downhill pole and then hop by extending your lower leg off the snow, okay?
I see.
The other small thing, when you plant your pole, it's only a wrist action, not an arm action. So think about, right, you're going to hop, plant the pole, hop, use the wrist, but don't swing your arms. As soon as you start swinging your arms, your shoulders will start to rotate, and then your skis have a mind of their own and start sliding
You
around.
can feel it.
Otherwise, I mean, you're coming on really well.
With your first parallel turns with pole plant, give yourself a long traverse so you have plenty of time to think about what you're doing. Traverse, flex, plant the downhill pole and extend into the fall line. If you have problems with the timing, say out loud, flex, plant, extend. Flex, plant, extend. Remember, the pole plant is a trigger for the start of the turn. Now try the pole plant with short radius turns. Your reactions must be a lot quicker, so keep a good rhythm and the movements will flow into each other, making the turns smoother. Again, you can repeat out loud, flex, plant, extend. You'll find by planting your pole that as well as a good timing aid, it also helps to stabilise your overall stance. On steeper slopes, it's important for you to know more about how this affects your stance and balance. The next exercise is to show the gravity pull felt when skiing, especially on steeper slopes. To help explain, Jane is pretending to be gravity and pulls John down the slope. John has to resist the pull. With skis apart, you'll automatically get into the correct position. The skis resist by rolling knees and hip into the hill, so tilting the skis onto their edges. Now what happens if you keep your feet together? It's difficult to resist the pull because you can't roll knees or hip into the hill without falling over. This exercise will help you become more aware of the importance of a wide stance and the correct body position to edge the skis. With this in mind, watch John ski towards us. Note the angle of his body, especially the knees and hip, and how they move across the skis to edge and resist the pull down the slope. The steeper the slope, the more exaggerated the knee and hip movement need to be to edge the ski enough to stay in control throughout the turn. When skiing down steeper slopes, it's necessary to control the descent by shortening the radius of the turn. The turn becomes tighter, so the normal turning actions are more pronounced. This is leg and foot rotation, with flexing and extending, exact timing of pole plant with plenty of edge set. It doesn't take long to improve, as Jane shows.
The life, eh?
It is, isn't it? What a perfect ending to a wonderful day.
It's great.
It's really good today. It's just the sun is so hot.
You have to be careful with your face. Your nose has caught it.
Yeah, I know. It's got a nice glass mark where the glasses have been across my nose. Yeah, it's really super though.
Did you enjoy your week?
Yeah, fabulous time. I must admit, as the week has gone on, it seems to have got, but things have started to come together, towards the end of the week, which is
Your
nice.
skiing's improved quite a lot. Your short radius turns are good now, which means you've got to ski on a lot steeper slopes.
Yes, that's right.
The après ski is a good part as well, isn't it?
The après ski, I think, is one of the nicest parts about it. To come off the mountain and just sit down and relax, and to have a hotel with such facilities as this, it's wonderful, isn't it?
It's good. Talk about all the falls and the accidents.
That's right. As soon as the bruises and the aches and pains, that's for sure, doesn't it?
Sauna and a jacuzzi. What else could you ask for?
That's right. Have you been in the steamboat?
Of course, you don't have to wait until you reach the snow to put all these exercises to the test. Why not try one of the artificial slopes in the UK? There are well over 110, and there are being more constructed every year because they're so popular. This one is at Pontypool in South Wales, where John Arnold and Iona learned to ski, and has played an important role in their skiing careers. Skiing on a plastic slope is very similar to skiing on snow. If anything, you have to ski technically better to ski well on the plastic, which means when you do get onto the snow, you'll find it so much easier and more enjoyable. Having a couple of ski lessons, especially if you're a beginner, with one of the ski instructors employed at the slopes, will put you in good stead for your holiday. The slopes are used by skiers of all abilities, not only beginners. With the ski clubs, you'll find a good atmosphere to help you along. When you go along, always wear old clothes, jeans or an old jacket. Take a pair of gloves and a pair of long socks. All the ski equipment can be hired. You'll find yourself progressing very quickly with the use of a plastic slope. so why not try it? If you require any further information about artificial slopes in the UK, contact the English Ski Council by telephoning 021 501 2314.
Well, if you're a beginner, intermediate or advanced, I'm sure we've helped you to improve your skiing and also shown you how to enjoy it. After all, it's a fantastic sport and I hope to see you on the piste.
C&A, #1 in ski wear. Rodeo, the name at C&A for active sportswear. Sponsors and suppliers to the 1988 British Winter Olympic team. Rodeo, a range of ski wear for all the family from C&A, #1 in ski wear. Intersun Ski Scene operate flights from a number of UK airports directly to Salzburg. All Austrian ski resorts with Intersun are served through this airport. You'll be met here by your Ski Scene representative who will help you and direct you to your waiting transfer coach. The excellent ground facilities at this airport help Ski Scene to speed your journey to your particular resort. Further helpful information regarding your resort and holiday will be given en route, as your representative will be travelling with you. Catering for summer and winter ski holidays in Meyerhofen is the Hotel Berghof. This 4-star family-run hotel with excellent facilities including a sauna, solarium, jacuzzi, Turkish bath and squash court will make you most welcome. With spacious reception lounges and a large dining area, together with 3 smaller stubili, one with a lively bar and dancing, you'll have the choice of a lively night or perhaps a quieter, more romantic evening. Perhaps too the opportunity to sample local dishes and wines, as this particular hotel has excellent catering facilities. For further details on the Berghof Hotel and other Ski Scene holidays, contact your local travel agent or telephone 01 290 0511.